What's up? What's going on, everybody? K-Mega 405. What's up? What's going on, everybody? I had to listen to myself. I'm sorry, I got to do that every time just to make sure, because I used to have, I think I might have fixed that problem. I don't know with the bug, but anyway. But K-Mega 405 coming to you live from the 405, where I'm just a regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers out there. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day and fantastic evening. But you know what? I'm going to give my disclosure right now. I woke up feeling dangerous today. So and listen, I hope some of the people that I bring up won't take it personally, because I don't mean it in a personal way, but I just want to have a little pushback. And also, the one thing that I will not do is, and this is why I wait, I don't just jump off right off if I hear something like news-wise, is if it's a rumor or whatever, I usually wait a couple of days or so. Or sometimes if it's really, really crazy news, kind of like for what we was hearing with these layoffs, I usually might wait a week or whatever. So anyway, with that being said, I will not address any of that yet. I will say, for the people who will be laid off, which we know that is a certainty, that sucks. I wish those people well. And we'll hopefully see that stuff worked out. But I will say this: there were so many content creators and so many people out there jumping out and making all these accusations, and we ain't heard from Microsoft, and we haven't heard from either of those studios yet. Their fiscal year doesn't really kick off until July. So right now, from my understanding, from what I've gathered, is that they're in conversations right now about whatever the decision is going to be made between Ninja Theory, Compulsion Games, also with Double Fine. So anyway, with all that, like I said, until there is absolute proof, just like with the whole PlayStation thing, with PlayStation exclusives, I kept saying we haven't officially heard from PlayStation yet. Thank you, Slayer. We haven't heard it yet, but the situation, I'm sure that there will be some kind of fallout. We definitely know that there's going to be layoffs, but the fact of it is that we don't know if these studios are going to get closed, or if they're going to get get the same type of treatment like Tango Games or Toys for Bob, where they become independent, things like that. If that's the case, if they don't stick with Xbox studios, let's hope for all of those studios that they will have that opportunity. And lastly, I will say this on that whole front, is that this is when you know that the hype is much more exciting than the truth. Case in point, Double Fine posted something the other day, which was showing a little emoji that was laughing with the little teardrop, like, damn, like with a little like sweat on the side of the head, like, bruh. Like, so again, and people took it all different types of ways. People was like, oh, okay, well, Double Fine seemed to be okay. Double Fine could be, you know what I'm saying? Tim and all them could be looking at this and like, what? Look at these fools here. Look, what? We ain't even in negotiations. These people probably already knew. It's sometimes I get it, like some of these people don't get to know, but if Ninja Theory, if Double Fine and Compulsion Games, I'm sure they already knew about their financials and the situations was going on like this, that, and the third. But and something, like I said, I'm already talking too much about it. Until we get some clarification from Xbox, from Asha and Xbox, or from the studios themselves, I'm going to wait and see on this. We're going to find out one way or the other. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about just two things today. And one, I'm going to get right into it. I mean, you read, like you said, Slayer, you read the headlines. You read the headlines. Can we sit here and really just tell the truth here? Because I mean, I've been telling the truth. I've been keeping it funky for a very long time. But it seems like that there's people still keep thinking that I'm bullshitting when I say that the media, the gaming media, is full of bullshit. They are, this whole Xbox tax thing, oh, they're so stupid, that doesn't make any sense. I don't even know what's, listen, it's just flat out hypocrisy. Flat out. Bro, it don't even make any sense how crazy it is with how the media is going. Listen, it is no question that Xbox is held to a different standard than Nintendo and PlayStation. We all know it. The PlayStation stands know it. The Nintendo, whatever the hell people call Nintendo diehards, the Xbox, the whatever the hell you call Xbox people. We get so many names now. PC used to be Master Race. They struggling over here now, so you cannot be called anything Master. It's just the PC gamers over there. Xbox is gets put through a blender like no other gaming company I've ever seen. And what's crazy to me is that most of the gaming media is from United States, and they dog walk a goddamn American company. Now I get it. This is the crazy shit about it, that the gaming media really pisses me and irks me to all out. This is why they frustrate me. Because in 1 minute, they can sit there and tell you, well, Microsoft is a big super conglomerate, $1 trillion company. They're evil, this, that, and the third. And then have the audacity, and I made a video about this last month, about telling Asha and Xbox staff not to listen to people like me and you who buy their products. So if that ain't cucking for the corporations, I don't know what is. So if you want to be on 1 minute and want to be all high and liberal and everything and talk about corporations and tax the rich and all that, I'm all for that. But we got to be consistent. And this is something that the gaming media, the only thing the gaming media has been consistent on is ripping Xbox anytime Xbox has done something that's out of sorts. Sometimes it's legit and Xbox deserves to get an ass ripping. And other times it's really, 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 really pressing it. It's really pressing. The gaming media has been trying to destroy Xbox and make it into Sega since 2012. You are absolutely right. No, it was right before the Xbox One came out. Once they started talking about the DRM and the cameras watching you and listen, Don Matrick did not do any favors by saying the dumb shit that he said. And again, and Microsoft did not do any favors by coming out more expensive than its competitor that they had shaken in PlayStation. And it's like I've said before, the 360 was the darling of that generation, and they got outsold by PlayStation and Nintendo, and nobody talks about the Wii, and barely people talk about the PlayStation 3. I think I talk more about the PlayStation 3 than PlayStation gamers than damn self. Now, traditional, just all love of retro gaming and stuff like that, yes, they'll talk about PlayStation 3, but when it comes to just talking about that era, the Xbox 360 was goated. It was goated. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. It was the trending box. So, that being said, let's get into a couple of things here. Now, there's something I want to show you guys. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get back to, because I know I always kind of pull out this little camera thing that I do from OBS, and I got another thing where you can usually see all of me, and then I could probably pop these like little screens out a little bit easier and things like that. But anyway, we're just gonna do it this way. All right. So, case in point, boom. All right. So this is studios that Sony have shut down before we find out anything, because we hear about layoffs is coming for Bungie. We don't know of anything else. I know that there was somebody, I think that there were some people that was trying to rumor about House Marquee. I think that's the name of the studio. There might be some layoffs. Until those things are official, I'm not saying anything on Bungie or that. I'm just saying what the rumors are. I don't know. We'll find out. Regardless of that, this is what studios has been closed down by PlayStation. Okay, as you can see, you got big studios. I don't even know what the hell big was. People in the chat, please tell me what big studios made. I have no idea. You had Liverpool, Psygnosis, which had one of my favorite games, Wipeout XL, and they had other good games as well. But that's the top one that comes to my head. You had Zipper Interactive. You had Evolution Studios, Gorilla Cambridge. Bruh, what? You had Manchester Studios. You had Japan Studios. Is Japan Studio the one that had they're the cult classic little I got both of those games. It's 1 and 2. And I know people still ask for them, but I think that was Japan Studios that had those 2 little games. I can't think of those games' name right now, but they're really cool games. But and I don't know if you can buy them anymore, which is crazy. You might can. I don't know. Let's see. Then you had Plexless. Okay. Pexapolis, whatever the hell, whatever. Let me be country. I don't know. They should have been let go because of that name. No, I'm just playing people who lost their jobs in 2023. I'm just saying. London Studios, Neon Koi, Firewalk Studios, Blue Point, and then there's Dark Law Games, which I'm thinking maybe Dark Outlaw Games was a game that was supposed to come out that did not come out. I'm assuming. White Knight Chronicles, Gravity Rush. That's what it was. Gravity Rush. The Gravity Rush 1 and 2. I've not played White Knight Chronicles, but thank you so much, Raichi. Okay, so Microsoft so far. You got Ace Game Studios. You got Carbonated Games. You got Lionhead Studios. You got Press Play. You got Arcane Austin. You got Tango GameWorks. And I don't know if you want to say that they're closed down. They just got bought out because they're with Krafton, I believe, now. And you had Alpha Dog Games and The Initiative, which was probably the worst of the worst, because not only you killed a franchise that a lot of people were excited about with Perfect Dark, and you had this, you know what I'm saying? You came out on stage and this was supposed to be the studio of studios. Okay, that was a big fat L. But the reason why I'm showing that is because, hold up, if the roles were reversed, and I mean, listen, there could be more on this list for Xbox coming here next month. We'll find out. There might be more for PlayStation. We'll find out there. We'll find out. That's all I'm saying on that. Like I said, till then, we will find out. But it is clear that PlayStation has let go of more studios over its time and had tons of layoffs as well. Now, I think Microsoft may have had the most because there were a lot more people, especially during, 2024? It was 2023 or 2024. I think it was it was at the end of the year for sure. And they laid off like a ton of people, and that was a lot of the people from contracts, and that's when that deal with the ABK deal was finalized, and that was already to be expected. But damn, there was a lot of people let go, and again, Xbox got ripped for it, Microsoft's got ripped for it, and rightfully so. Now again, it's a business. This happens all over the world, but again, it still does. It shouldn't sit well with anybody to be people to lose their jobs, regardless. So again, I had nothing negative to say. Matter of fact, I gave my pieces on that when that happened. You hate that for those people. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully there was a lot of people that got started their own studios, joined other studios, things of that nature. But with all that being said, when you look at this, the biggest list of studios closed down, the way that the media talks, you would think that that's all this shit that I'm showing here, every bit of it. This got to all be Xbox by themselves. We barely hear about the layoffs. There's also a post that's going around saying that the potential layoffs from Bungie is going to be more than the layoffs that's going to be between what Xbox is going to lay off. Again, I don't know. We'll find that out. But if that's the case, where is the smoke for Sony? In this crazy ass notion, let's say Ninja Theory does fold or get sent off. Well, Sony needs to get them. Hell, Sony couldn't even keep up a studio that has been around, that made one of the most beloved games in gaming history in Halo, and made a great, fantastic, like iconic game in Bungie, and they can't even keep them afloat. What are we doing? They got rid of a studio that was going to make remakes, made a damn good remake, and they said, bye, you're out of here. So if they're going through finance, and they're not as big as a company as Microsoft. So man, listen, stop it. Sony might pick up something here and there, but man, they gave up their TV division. They gave it to TCL. What are we talking about? Sony ain't acquiring anything from what Xbox has got rid of. They're just gonna do what everybody else is gonna do. Hopefully those studios will go independent, and their games will be coming on PlayStation just like they have been coming on PlayStation and Xbox. So stop that. Let's stop that. Pro said, nah, the initiative didn't initiate anything. Perfect Dark was a vertical slice. Listen. I think Inco was another classic as well. Let me read this. He says, you may not remember, but even a developer told Sony they need to increase their memory or they would lose Umar. Didn't have to ask me if that sounded suspicious. Listen, this is my thing though. The industry as a whole is hurting. And now this is where I'm finna get into the part here where, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it, like I said, I ain't trying to offend anybody, but we're gonna have to have some pushback here. Because now everybody is sitting here trying, to me, some people getting exposed for how they game. Because they come out and they say stuff like, well, the reason why these studios is failed or they're not selling enough is this, that. It's Game Pass. It's Game Pass. I would be willing to see Game Pass go away or take away day and date. And so let me hear this right. Instead of really breaking down the truth of why the fuck we are in this situation, it's greed. It's the economy. It's greed from these corporations. It's the economy. People got to make choices between gas, food, utilities, hell, just trying to have a little bit of entertainment just to pay for internet. You got cell phones, you may got kids, you got car payment maybe. So if you paying rent or you got a mortgage, and especially if those shits is going up too, which they are. What do you think that when you sit here and you advertise a game and that person is looking at this and I can't wait. What? And then next thing you know, you see $70. Not Jack. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, reality's got to set in at some point. Reality has to set in at some point to these corporations. So again, are they going to get smart? Sony said that they were going to get smart. Hey man, Spider-Man was what, $300 and some million? Spider-Man 2 was $300 and some million to make. Cut that shit back. Whatever, how much Spider-Man 2018 costs. Hey man, go to that point or maybe a little bit less. I don't know how much Hellblade 2 cost. Love Hellblade 2. You guys know how much I love Ninja Theory. I will be highly pissed if Ninja Theory is gone. I will be highly pissed. It is one of my favorite studios, recent studios that Xbox picked up. I will be highly pissed. Their showpieces, they have the best set of graphics next to Coalition. I would give it to 343 or Halo Studios, but listen, they're going with a whole different engine now, and I know Unreal Engine 5 is fantastic, but until I see a new Halo with a new aesthetic and not that old bullshit, I can't put Halo there yet. I can't put Halo there. If you sit there and you talk about Halo 4, Halo 5, they still hold true. Now, I'm not saying that Halo Infinite does not look good, but man, if they gave the same type of modern aesthetic for Chief like they did for 4 and 5, then I would be saying, yes, you put hell. But anyway, again, Coalition, Ninja Theory, they're the best. They're the best. There's other, I mean, like Doom looks great. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But we got to be real here. Ninja Theory is a showpiece. When they show their shit, it's incredible. It's the closest thing to what people would say or compare to a PlayStation over-the-shoulder template game. Hands down. So why would you get rid of that? I don't know. Well, I guess it's the budget. But still, when you see that, and then again, those games were not like Hellblade 2 was not $70. But again, if you sit here and if you got social media coming out here and they're saying, oh, I beat the game in 3 hours. Well, nobody ain't gonna want to pay $40, $50 for no game that you beat in 3 hours. And that was a lie. The game was longer than that. So that's the shit that I'm trying to point out. It's the hypocrisy from people that don't play the games like that. Or if they do, they play the game on easy, don't do the things that they're supposed to do in the game. They just speed run it or have somebody else speed run it. And then they go in and they get on a podcast or they get on their channels and they say the wildest shit. And then these people will listen. And then they're like, well, man, what's the point of me playing for a 3-hour game? And I'll just wait for a sale. And I can't understand why somebody could tell you that the value of the best value in gaming, which is Game Pass, is not sustainable or is not good for the gaming industry. It might not be good for the greedy fucks out there that sits there and wants every drip and dime from us. It might not be good for some of these media outlets out here who get free copies of games that don't give a shit about you and me that has to pay for these games. And I've gotten free copies my damn self at times. But my thing is but I try to look at it from a standpoint of people that I know. And even myself, like I said, I don't get free copies all the time. I don't go and ask a lot. You know what I'm saying? I've kind of here for the last, I would say 2 years, I've kind of stayed back. So, but for other people that sit here and they go in there, you know, hey man, get that free copy. Let me get that free copy. We know how this game works as content creators. We know how it goes down. You know how it goes down. Media. You see how they acted when was it? I forget, was it Xbox or PlayStation? I can't remember. I think maybe it was both. That sit there and shunned the media, and the media went after both. I think it was one. I think one was The Last of Us 2. Because of all that bad media press. And then Xbox did it with another game, and I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was Starfield or what. I can't remember. But the media was on that ass. You know why? Because they got to pay. They got to pay to play this time. No. You can't just dump. And that's where this is where Sony always gets the winning ticket, because Sony can be aggressive like that. And there's so many of the people in the gaming media that kisses Sony's ass. They'll sit there and they'll take the L. I can't say too much because I do want to get Faye. Man, I do want to get man. And they will like Xbox games too, but the whole thing of what it is and what it has been and what's been feeding their pockets is giving negative press about Xbox. And this is where I've been saying that Xbox should be sitting here putting people on notice. We ain't fucking with you if you ain't sitting there doing right. And people say, well, they need the media. Do they? The media is giving, yes, more people talk about Xbox in the gaming space than anybody, than any other entity. But it's mostly negative, and at times it shouldn't be. And let me make another point to you about this, which it just crossed my mind before I was getting ready to get started on the stream. I was like, okay, a lot of these people know about the fiscal year of a lot of companies. When they do this stuff, they start it off in July. It's usually from July to October, right? You know what I'm saying? They got to get their books right by that time, right? So they didn't even, the Xbox's event was so good, was so damn popping that they didn't even want to give Xbox a week before they needed to drop some bad press. Because Sony was way overshadowed. You had people bitching about that cube on Faye, which Like me and Ham Solo was sitting there talking about it and stuff, and listen, I'm not gonna speak up for him because he ain't here, but like, and others, they didn't like the cube. I don't know. I found it to be a little weird, but listen, it is what it is. I still want to play the game. The game looked tough. You know what I'm saying? But the cube thing's a little different. I'm like, maybe when you go further down in the game, the cube turns into something else. I would have rather that little animal that you first seen in the trailer would have been your sidekick with the sword. But again, listen, we might fall in love with the cube. I have no idea. And it's not like Sony's showcase was bad. It was really good. The state of play was really good. But Xbox was so fantastic. It overshadowed everything. And the media could not wait to kill that vibe. I mean, couldn't give Xbox a month. A month. Because you could have had a whole month and then did this and started putting out these rumors and what these people were saying from just random notes or whatever. Like, come on, man. Come on. And so not even a week. Not even a week, folks. Xbox couldn't get no shine for a week. He said, don't make fun of the Allspark Teresa Act or whatever. He said the Allspark. Oh, that's what, yeah, you talk about some shit for Transformers. Oh my God. Tesseract. Oh no, that's from Halo. He said the Allspark. I thought you was gonna call it an Energon cube. That's what I thought about it. I thought it looked like an Energon cube, like from Transformers. I was just like, Transformers eat Energon cube. So I was thinking that's what it looked like to me. I was like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And then I started thinking of the Beyonce song, "You Ain't Ready for This Jelly." Listen, I'm not here to clown. Like I said, I think the game looked dope, but I don't know. A cube? So anyway. But getting back to the Game Pass situation, it makes me sick that I see the people that say this, and I see Xbox people too. They're willing to give it up, but you know what? You also get free copies, bro. I know. You know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. I'm seeing you. We know it. I know it. So you don't give two shits about it, or your channel is doing so well that you can afford any game that comes out that you give a damn about. But what about the person that don't? And that's saying for any gamer out there. What about the gamers that don't? It's just like when I made a post and I said, listen, I could be, because I have been that way. I remember Don used to sit there and was like, man, we're gonna have to put you in an intervention. Bro, you just buying too many games, because you buying too many games that you can sit there and you can't even play all at the same time or at one time. I would just get so excited about it. Like if you just knew my I would be so angry about. I would get so angry about like how I had so many games, so many dope ass classics that I could have kept, but I traded them in to GameStop. Or when I was really young, my family could only afford just a couple of things. Like, I mean, I had to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I had to go young and cut lawns and do stuff and earn money to sit there and go buy me a game. Or, usually I would go to a video store and just rent them. You know what I'm saying? So just because. So it's like, for me, like, you know what I'm saying? Get it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. And so I was like, you know what? Nah, let me pump the brakes on this, right? Like I am tripping. So anyway, my whole point was that I made a post and I said, September of this year is so stacked, it's so loaded. I mean, actually from July on to probably November, where all things stop because Grand Theft Auto comes. It's stacked. But I just want to point on September, because September is so damn insanely packed of just dope looking ass games, right? And I'm like, yeah, I could go ahead and go check my budget and get about 5 of those games. I can go get them. But then I'm sitting here looking at myself like, bro, we got other things we got to take care of. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I can't beat all those games at one time. I mean, I could, but I mean, I also have a life too. And so you're telling, so like for me, and like I said too, I'm the minority here. We're the minority. We're the ones that are about 3 to 4 to 5 games, you know what I'm saying, and maybe in a month. But in reality, the people that are looked at, the people that really makes the market stand, you know what I'm saying, it really helps these consoles are the casual market. And they're not buying those games like that. They're just not. And they won't. And some people can't. So you mean to tell me one of the best values in gaming, I would say one of the best values in gaming history, Game Pass, and because some of these people are so jealous because it's not on PlayStation, or PlayStation wouldn't dare, or Nintendo wouldn't dare because they're so anti-consumer. PlayStation used to be popping, but now PlayStation's trying to be like Nintendo. They're trying to be like Apple. And I wish you could tell me I'm lying, but I've seen a lot of PlayStation people been complaining this year for some of the decisions that PlayStation's been making. So anyway, regardless of that, but you're telling me that you want to sit there because it's not on the platform of your choice, gaming media, or even for some of the people, the Xbox media people, because of that. Nah, man, we gotta take that away from the people. Just look and see how many people struggling on PC right now. In the sense of they're trying to get hardware, trying to get you know what I'm saying? Man, bro. And you're telling me, nah, PC Game Pass needs to go away. All that needs to go away. Nah. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. It bothers me. It bothers me to no end. And it's not going to help the industry if Game Pass goes away. Because what's going to happen is going to expose the situation even more that people aren't buying the games like that anymore. And when I had these arguments with people about, oh man, you know, saying it's only just $10. You know what you can do with $10? No, I mean, maybe not much, but $10 can go get you something to eat. Now you might be asked out on some gas right now with just $10, but man, you can at least go get something to eat. You can at least buy a bus ticket. You can at least buy something like that. Like, see, again, I don't know with these companies, with these high mighty execs that sit there and makes all this motherfucking money, sit there and think about people like that. But yet they sit there and they tell you, no. Our product is so good, you still need to pay. And people are telling you we can't or we won't. And everybody's getting hit with it. Even, you know, I'm seeing like everybody's getting hit with Nintendo is over here trying to sit there and hold off as long as they can before the Switch 2 goes up in price. And when it does, you think it's going to be selling like it is? Nope. It won't. Not here in America. And America's the biggest market. So, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's like the industry as a whole needs to be ripped. The gaming industry as a whole needs to be evaluated. But don't help them by telling gamers, people who sit there and work and bust their ass for a living, to sit there and tell them, well, you can't get a perk. When they see so many other people get perks that don't even need to use Game Pass because they make so much money. What are we doing here? Why is Game Pass the all end all that needs to be taken away? I don't get it. But anyway, let's move on off of the Game Pass stuff. I made it clear about that. I think it's pretty shitty for people to sit there and say they want Game Pass to be eradicated or go away. I understand for the fanboys, for the stands out there that hates Xbox and hates the value that Xbox did it with. But you don't see these same people say this about EA Play or Ubisoft. Plus, you don't see them talking about those companies. Wonder why. Anyway, next thing. Here, and this is what I wanted to also address here. And I'm just going to make this. I'm just going to point this out because I got this. I seen this from Jamie, and I've been knowing Jamie for a while. Jamie ever since from the Next podcast. Like he used to come on there, he would pop up on the show. You know what I'm saying? I think Jamie's a cool dude. He does a podcast with another Oklahoma brethren, Logan. Shout out to them. Go check out their podcast. But I got to let you know, Jamie, on this post that you did here, I can't accept it. And I got to call it out. And hopefully we can have a discussion about it at some point. But here we go. So this is what he said. For years, he said, I said for years, game industry is heading towards a crash. Things need to change. More sequels and expansions of Gen. Okay, I can agree with that. The second one is where I have the biggest problem. More games people want. Okay, so this is where the pushback begins. How the hell do we know what we want unless we play it first? How did we know we wanted Mass Effect? How did we know we wanted a game like Titanfall? How did we know that we wanted God of War? How did we know we wanted Halo? By all things, like especially Halo was something that was mostly like a PC type of game. Console gamers didn't know anything about that. That was when I first seen Halo, I said, "Oh, the graphics look dope, but what is this weird shit with this controller, man? This thing look like a dinner plate. What is this, bro? What the hell is this?" Man, get this shit away from me, man. Man, come on, man. I got my PlayStation in the car, man. And my homies was like, "Nah, bro, come on, man. Let's just try this." Hey, I didn't want no parts of Halo. And then I played it and kept playing it. And caught myself playing it all night, damn near, until I was like, "Oh shit, man, it's 3:00 in the morning. I got to be at work. I got to be at work at 7. Yo. We was playing that shit all that time. And when you was young, you could do crazy shit like that, just stay up all night and then go to work and then you sleep, you go home and crash. Couldn't do that now. Too old for that. But back then, a lot of us could. And that's what we did. How the hell are we supposed to know? I didn't even ask for no Halo. I didn't even ask for Doom. I didn't even ask, and you know what I'm saying? And even though I'm not the biggest Doom fan, now let me just put Wolfenstein, because I love Wolfenstein way more. How did I know that I even wanted to play The Witcher? You know what I'm saying? Listen, when The Witcher came out, when the first Witcher came out, it was on PC only. And I was not having anything to do with mouse and keyboard. But when The Witcher 2 came out and it came out on Xbox, I'm like, interesting. And I even go back and try to play I'm really, really bad with mouse and keyboard, except unless for RTSs. I'm really bad with those type of games, which like try to play an action game or even a shooter. I'm just not good with a mouse and keyboard with that. I'm not as skilled like that. But I even go back sometimes and try to play The Witcher 1. That's why I'm so glad that they're going to do a remake so I can play it and finally beat the first Witcher. I only just read through the story of what was going on so I could understand what was happening in that universe. But how the hell are we supposed to know what we like, man? Did we know that we would like now? Like, okay, so let's say Gran Turismo. Of course, it's a racing game. That, you know what I'm saying? There's always been racing games. We love pole position. Like, how did we know we was gonna like Joust? How did we know that we was gonna like Pac-Man or even Mario? What the hell does that mean, Jamie? He's like, the more games people want, we don't know. That's the whole point. So let's make up our mind here. Because I remember all of us, me included, was talking about games, you know what I'm saying? People was definitely jumping on Xbox ass about creative freedom. So much so they were mad because Xbox cut the Coalition game. That was supposed to be kind of like this espionage type of game. I forget the name of what it was going to be called. Right? And my thing is like, we have to see do we want creative freedom anymore? Like, again, I agree with the first. Yes, there needs to be more sequels and expansions. I am totally cool with that. You know what I'm saying? With the Senua situation, like, oh, that's tough. I want it. Bring it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Starfield 2, please. You know what I'm saying? Bring that. More Halos, more Gears, more Forzas. I'm cool with that. But we cannot sit here and act like we can't, because we'll get back to what we were talking about last generation. Too many sequels, and we need more new games. But again, this is where I say people start getting their gaming stars. And I'm not saying that Jamie ain't no gamer. He's a gamer. But what I'm saying is that, like, okay, so now we're going to say games we want. Okay, so people want Splinter Cell. What if I don't want Splinter Cell? What if I want Prince of Persia more? What if I want, I don't know, something else, the Phoenix game? What was that? Which was a really damn good game. The chick where she was an angel and all that, like, it's kind of like a 3D Kid Icarus type of game. Love that game. I think that game is fantastic. Anyway, made from Ubisoft. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. Like, how do we know that we want these games until we actually play them? I could tell you right now, I'm not the biggest platformer fan. Psychonauts 2 was so fantastic. I'm like, it made me start playing platformers again. I was like, yo, this shit is incredible. What I've been missing out. But because you know why? Because it was something that I know that was the first Psychonauts. I didn't even sniff that. Didn't even care. Like, two factors: Game Pass, and also it was intriguing me. I was like, you know what? This game looks kind of cute. I want to try to play it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not into really cutesy games like that, but this game looks all right. Let's go ahead and try it. And lo and behold, I'm a fan of Psychonauts. So maybe if Double Fine wanted to make another Psychonauts, or wanted to make another one of those games where they had Jack Black in it, the rock and roll game. See, I can't think of games right now. My mind is toast right now. But yes, they need to make more of those. Every studio needs to goes back to a bread and butter and do that. Immortals, thank you, Curie. Immortals. But we got to stop this. We got to stop this because, again, I hate this about certain people, and this is not going towards Jamie. This is going to some other people. When I was sitting there, I was talking, giving all the praise to South of Midnight, how much I love that game. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. Like, I'm about games with diversity and all that, right? Like, how much I love those type of games. And this was so unique, so different than anything else that I played in a very, very long time. And then I had to get that comment, it was mediocre. Bitch, you mediocre. Play some motherfucking games. Try something different. Stop sitting there playing the same shit and then sit there and try to get on your high horse and act like you a gamer. Like that. You a gamer, but you ain't no gamer. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? And I'm saying again, and if it's mediocre, it's mediocre. But we know why people do shit like that, because they want to sit there and act high and mighty on the net with giving you, just trying to get a rise out of you. And I looked and I said, yo, what? Cool, whatever. But Jamie ain't the only one that says this stuff. Give more games that the people want. What do we want then? You know what? Then it's going to have to be, because the next one that Jamie says here, I'm going to sit there. This is another problem I have, right? Because I love open world games, but I'm gonna say this first before I go to the open world stuff. If we want to talk about what the gamers want, a lot of people ain't gonna like it. If we really want to get into the weeds, if we really want to be sticky, if we want to get messy here, a lot of people ain't gonna like it, because you know what the gamers want? Free to play. Shooters. The shit that some people sit there and sports games. The shit that some gamers get into a pocket over here and stigmatize us. That like fighters. Ugh. What, a fighter? Oh, you like Matt? Oh, you like NBA 2K? But then you also will see, you see you don't see my gameplay right now, but let me get back to the gameplay. I'll just read the rest. But just, I'm playing all types of shit. Ain't nobody playing no game. I play games. You know what I'm saying? And I don't sit there and I ain't trying to I disparage or tell anybody what to like, what not to like, this, that, and the third. How I supposed to know I was gonna like Ninja Gaiden? Unless they they made it. There was people that sit there, you know what I'm saying? One of my favorite developers made Dead or Alive. Made Ninja Gaiden, but then made Dead or Alive, and that's what caught my attention on Ninja Gaiden, because Ryu Hayabusa was in it. I was like, oh, what? Word? Let me play this. How do I supposed to know that I'm gonna like it if I don't give it a shot? Or if I, you know what I'm saying? How is developers gonna know if they're gonna have a hit? You know what I'm saying? It's no different than an album. You know what I'm saying? How you know if there's a new artist that comes out and they have a song, how do you know that album is gonna be slapping? You're gonna have to give it a shot. Now it's a lot easier now because you could just go ahead and Spotify it or Apple Music it or whatever, YouTube Music it, whatever. So you can just go through and you can breeze through. But back in the days, shit, you just have to go to, and it's gonna make sense. I might show my age. Go to Sounds Warehouse and go get your cassette or your CD. You know what I'm saying? And pray to God. Like now, you would go and get the single. You would get the single as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? That'll be the first thing. You get the single, you bump that, and then you're like, man, you know, this is so tough. I gotta get the whole album. And you find out if it's popping or if it's not. That's how the old ways used to be. They started to get a little bit more convenient and let you start listening to portions of the albums, and then it just turned into what it is. You know, saying you keep going forward to now, but you know. How do we know, bro? Like, and that's the thing I'm trying to say is like, it's so, we can't say what the gamers want, because the bigger money makers, why do you think PlayStation did the pivot that they did for live service? That's what the gamers want. They want Minecraft. They want Fortnite. They want Marvel Rivals. They want PUBG. They want Call of Duty. They want Madden. They want college. They want college. They want the NBA 2K. They want hockey. They want the shit that some gamers sit there and stigmatize. They want the battlefields. They want these other games. They want the games what I call peanut butter and jelly games. Something I could jump in. I've worked a long ass day. I'm coming in. Damn, I only got 3-4 hours before I gotta go I gotta go to bed. And I ain't got time to sit here and play. I ain't got time to sit here and play whatever. You know what I'm saying? I can't a single player over the, yeah, like I can play that shit on the weekend. That's why these big storied games and things like that, or even if the game is like 5 to 10 hours, for some people that still might be too long for them. And and yes, it could be for a game like Crimson Desert, where I put in over 500 hours into that game, and I still have tons more to do in that game. But you can't tell me that Crimson Desert sold really well. And that's a game for your weekends, or if you're on your days off or something like that. But you always have what the gamers want, and that is them peanut butter and jelly type of games. Hey man, I'm finna just go ahead. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pop in this Tekken. I'm gonna pop in this Street Fighter. I'm gonna bust some ass right fast, and I gotta go to bed, or I gotta go take care of these kids, or I got shit to do, or I gotta go work my second job. Whatever the hell it is, you sit there and can't tell people what people want because you don't want to hear the truth about that. So either we're talking about creative freedom, or we're talking about the industry is just going to go and just give us the same, so where we can complain on top of that. Case in point. Now, less open worlds and more realistic graphics. And I need to get my glasses fixed, dang it. Anyway. Listen, that one thing you ain't gonna tell me is that I can't have my open world games. You kick rocks on that shit. That's my jam. Those are the games I love. I don't mind playing, of course, Hellblade 2 or Hellblade, or I don't mind playing a game and beating it in like 10 hours, or, you know what I'm saying, playing something like playing Devil May Cry, you know, and Devil May Cry 5 and putting in 20, 25 hours or something in that or whatever. But you ain't telling me I can't play my Assassin's Creed Shadows and me putting in my 200 in. What the fuck with you? That's like me telling you for the games that you love that I may not give two shits about to say less of those games for you, more kind of being guided type of games for you know what I'm saying, guided type of games like that, they need to go away. We need more open world games and less games that hold your hand. So what? Now we need to have all soul-like games now? I mean, because, you know, you got games that might have easy, normal, and hard difficulties. Like that doesn't make any sense. That open world games has been around forever. That ain't what's hurting the industry. Bruh, that's not what hurt the industry, fam. What's hurting the industry is what I said earlier, is greed. Greed. Case in point, I seen Black Viking post something and I was like, and I looked on Xbox and I was like, I don't see what. I'm like, where did he get that? Where the hell did he get this? Matter of fact, and I found it. Let me see if I could put this up here too. Okay, I'm gonna put this up here. Let's see if I can do that. I'm probably not. Anyway, I'll put it right here. Okay. Let me see, right here, get to this evidence. If I can find it. Hold on. Anyway, so when I find it, I'll probably got to go to pre-order games. That's where I got to go. That's where I need to go. All right. So I was sitting here and I found it where Black Viking posted. So here, case in point right here. I cannot wait for the Blood of the Dawnwalker. Golly, I can't wait. Oh, Token. Can't wait. Anyway, Grand Theft Auto. Evidence. Boom. Oh, let me pull that up. You can't see it past my big ass head. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I had a conversation about this last year because the person at Take-Two did say, the head guy at Take-Two said, you know what? It would be smart if gamers would just allow us to give them great experiences with $100 games. Games should be $80 or more. And Grand Theft Auto should be $100. And right there is when I said, you'll destroy the industry. You will destroy the industry. Now, you will not destroy Grand Theft Auto 6. No. That is a one of one. And even though I don't like this bastard, but it's just like Wimby. He's a one of one. Thunder the fuck up. Let's go. Go Knicks. Thank you, Knicks. Because the Thunder's Revenge Tour is on its way next season. Regardless of that. Get back. Let me reel it back in. But it's just like Wimby. He's one of one. Grand Theft Auto is just like that. One of one. That is the most selling video game, and so it can do some dumb shit like this. $122, bruh. No, Curie. They don't lie about these prices here. So listen, this game ain't coming out until and listen, they said that it will be up. They said we'll find out on the 25th how much it'll be on console. And we all know that the game is not going to be on PC until a year or so later. So hold up. Hold up. So shout out to Black Viking for finding that. Because I was like, where did he find that at? I'm like, I'm like, he's playing. Like, he found that somewhere. And I was sitting here going, because I was just looking at something, some games. And I was saying, like, because I was definitely wanting to see how much Phantom Blade Zero is going to be, because they finally announced that they're going to be coming out in November. So I was like, yeah, let's go. So $122.39. I don't even know what the 29. And listen, this site here is supposed to be for discounts. Mind you, discounts. Like if we sit here and want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen. Like the premium edition of Halo Evolved is $67. Normally, I guess that would be $70 or a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where to be. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Fam. $122.39. So we talk about now I'm sure this has got to be the deluxe version. I'm hoping that's maybe 130. Like this is their like ultimate edition, their shut up edition. So, but that makes me nervous because listen, if you got a shut up edition for 140, 130, 140 bucks, they're gonna hit us across the head with an $80 standard. That is a given. But it's here, and this is, does it say deluxe? No, it just says So ladies and gentlemen, so the 25th, we're going to find out for sure if it's going to be 80, and then the shut up edition is going to be $140, or are these motherfuckers really going to sit here and do it and say, listen, it's 100, son, for the standard. $100. Like I said, Grand Theft Auto is one of one. It can get away with it. But if any other, listen, I know Nintendo fans, and I said this before, they're one of the most loyal fans in the gaming space. But if they dare through a $100 Mario game, come on now. You know, come on now. Do you not think, let's see, and hold on, do you not think, okay, like let's say in the new God of War or the X-Men, you know what I'm saying, an X-Men game from Sony, you don't think they ain't gonna try to do that? Especially, they'll probably be bringing out the game around the times that the X-Men movies will start dropping. You don't think Sony ain't gonna try to do that? And then if Sony does it, Nintendo does it, then you know Xbox is gonna be stupid enough to try to do it. And you know what? We're the most vocal. And sometimes it's everybody else that's vocal with us because they just want to pile on. I love Halo. I love Killer Instinct. I love Hellblade. I love Gears. I love Forza. Nah, man. You drop I already got a problem with the $70 games. You add another 10 to that for the standard edition. And then you got people that's trying to tell us, hey man, Game Pass needs to go away, or they need to take day and date. They need to take the bigger titles off of day and date. Okay, cool. You take the day, but yet I still got to pay $26 a month. Or, you know what I'm saying, for however much you know what I'm saying, even if I got it stacked up, then that hit don't feel so bad. But yet, if I'm paying this shit monthly and you telling me I gotta wait for E-Day? I gotta wait for Fable? This is your solution? Nah. The solution is just get back to exclusives. The solution is to try to figure something out to lower the price to the Series X and the Series S. That's the solution. And I don't know, do anybody know how much that dope ass 25th edition Xbox is? Because I would want one, but the price has got to be right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Listen, do anybody know the price of that? I don't know. But anyway, I saw that and I said, nah, man, they lying. Nah, they were not lying. Yes, Raichi. Outer World was 80, and then he says it was 80, but they dropped the price. When people went up in the uproar, they sit there and dropped it up to 70. And then on top of that, the game didn't meet expectation. Sadly, because Outer Worlds 2, I have not beat it yet, but what I played, I put in some good hours into it. It's fantastic. It's just that, like, I forget what was it Assassin's Creed Shadows? Because if there's a game that I really want to play, Oh, was it Expedition 33? It was something that came out around that time. Well, hold on. No. Outer Worlds 2, I think, came out around the time Metaphor came out. And so after that, I played Metaphor, and I played Metaphor, and I played Dragon Age Veilguard back to back. And I think that's when Outer Worlds 2 came out. I could be wrong, but if it wasn't, there was I know for sure there was 2 games that came out around that time, that Outer Worlds, and I was like, I'll come back to Outer Worlds here later. It's just like what I did with Avowed. Like I jumped on Avowed for a little bit, and then I said, you know what, I'm finna start this over and play it again. And then I beat it earlier this year, and it's a great game. You know what I'm saying? I recommend anybody to play Avowed. It's really good. And I think Outer Worlds 2 is better than Avowed, in my opinion, from just for the 20 some hours that I put into it. But still, no, absolutely not. And Xbox gamers was complaining about that. But you ask people to sit there and tell you, no, take that away. Don't make it day and date, but yet you still pay the $26 a month. I mean, are people really mathing this? Like, I mean, man, they lost my brother Viper when they went to 30. I'm justifying it because I'm like, look at all the games you get to play. Look at all this hot shit you get to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, so I still see the value in Game Pass at $30. But they lost millions of subscribers because of that move, because they sit there and say, oh, man, let's hit them over the head, man. I mean, it's a great value, but let's hit them over the head. And there was people, and my thing was like, well, just go with the tiers. But people was like, I'm not dealing with the tiers. You had this shit for $19.99. We was getting heat. Now you jumped up to 30. We still getting heat, but man, shit, bills is due. Life is lifing. Come on, man. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see, it said, right, you said the problem Xbox makes okay games, but other amazing games release that are worth more our time. Well, see, that's one of those things that is, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to put it like this. What's another man's trash is another man's treasure. You can't sit here and tell me the games is okay just because you think that. Because I played some Xbox games that was absolutely outstanding for me. But my thing overall is that you look at the value. Like, you know what I'm saying? And listen, yeah, there are some really dope games that's come out. Like, again, Crimson Desert. Once Crimson Desert went, you know what I'm saying? The people that know me, if I'm really dug into a game, I just kind of go away. I'm locked in. I'm locked in. I don't play around. But anyway, let me get off of this. I'm giving these people free advertising. Anyway, so it's not like when you say when you say not mediocre, but when you say, like, you know what I'm saying, that they're okay games, like, bro, that's not, you can't tell. South, you might hate South of Midnight, but South of Midnight was everything for me. I loved it. I loved the hell out of that game. And a lot of people loved it too. It won awards. Hellblade won awards. Does that mean that you gotta love it? No, but I'm just saying. So it's like, yes, it's a lot of competition out there. And then there's a lot of those games that also comes on Game Pass that, again, that will take your time. So I get it. Like, there's big titled games that everybody swearing up and down. I'm playing this, I'm playing that, man. I'm playing something else. I'm no-lifing Street Fighter 6 because I never really gave the game that much run, that much burn. I played it. You see me play it on Fight Night, stuff like that. Okay. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to really go through and get down on this game. I have not done it. And I've been all week long. This is all if you've been seeing me on my thing, this is all I've been playing with Street Fighter 6. I'm going through, I'm trying to max out every character level in that like story mode. I think I got like 7 players left, 7 or 8 players left. Yes, like 7 players left before I have everybody maxed out. That's just how I game. Like, I'm into it. I want to keep it going. I enjoy the mode. I enjoy it. Then, you know what I'm saying? That's how I game. But again, back to that stuff where Jamie was saying about like less open world games. No, man, stay in your lane over there. Don't be coming over my shit that I love. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm over here looking at this list. I'm looking at Onimishu, The Way of the Sword. I know that's not going to be an open world game. And I'm going to have a blast when I buy it, when I get it, when I play it. But let's see. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis might be an open world game. I don't know. But Fable is an open world game. And you mean to tell me I can't be excited for that? We need less of that? For the stuff that we've seen in Fable? What are we talking about here? No. Open world games have nothing. Short, small games, big games, you know what I'm saying? Open world games, linear games. That's not the problem. It's just what I just showed you. They're talking. Grand Theft Auto can do this. Can sit there and charge $122 for a game. I hope to God that's not the standard, because that'd be really messy. That would be absolutely messy. But it's guaranteed to be 80, at least. And like I said, they might hit us over the head with 100. That game could get away with it. But do you think that Halo, the new Halo, can hit us over the head with 100? You think the new God of War can hit us over the head with 100? Do you think The Witcher 4 can hit us over the head with 100? What about Mass Effect 4? Can that hit us over the head for 100 too? No, it cannot. There will be some of us that are big fans that will sit here and do that. Like, listen, my thing would be for Halo, as much as I love Halo, I would be like, man, I'm checking my points. I'm not paying $100 for no game. I'm not paying $80 for no standard game. Got me fucked up. No way. If we sit here talking about, okay, this is my thing, and I hope you agree with me on this. If we're talking about $100 games, we're talking about $100 games standard, then there should be no longer deluxe or ultimate editions. Everything should be included. If you're asking for that type of money for a game, for a video game, for a slice of a virtual world that, you know, I think gaming gives some significance, but it ain't giving no significance like that to come off of a bill for a standard game. There's no game except for maybe two for me that I would say I would consider it. And I probably wouldn't do it. I would think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sitting there telling me, yeah, like, no. So you need to just get rid of ultimate and deluxe editions. I think that would be fair, but you know, companies are not going to do that. So, Sekiro King Cypher, he said, he said, I paid $20 for Ultimate Edition and the early access. What plug you work with? He said, oh, you said you paid $20 for Ultimate Edition. Okay, so yeah. What? You talk about through Game Pass? He said in regards to, okay, I got you. He says in regards to help. I'm just saying, like, is it the industry doesn't notice, but they created the problem. They did. That's the problem. He says they pushed us towards digital. Now built ourselves hundreds of game libraries on the cheap, and they can't sell us the new stuff. They can, but they have to go back to the $60. Like when we was doing Devin the Gamer, that was one thing that Don would say was that he felt that they would have to go back to the $60 frame, and that's the truth. You can't listen. If 70 is your standard, okay, but it's showing you that people aren't making those moves like that. Just look at like last generation. That was your evidence right there. You've seen games that was selling 8, 7, 8, 10 million copies. I mean, we go back, like Final Fantasy 15 sold like 15 million copies in like 3 days. It was $60. And I understand too the exclusivity of Final Fantasy that, you know what I'm saying, on PlayStation, that hurt Final Fantasy in my opinion. But still, no Final Fantasy is you know what I'm saying, is caught up to that Final Fantasy 15. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Now, look, Black Myth Wukong. It sold 30 million copies. Now, again, it was also half of people in the, you know what I'm saying, people outside of China, and half of people in China bought the game, but that was their first really big game. So, you know, like, you also got to deal with that. If you want, you're trying to have your games reach out to China and other places, you got to have a bigger reach or something. But again, that's just one game. Forza's doing really well, but also Forza's already down in price. It's already made its money, I guess. And so usually I think when these companies make their money, they're sitting here like, oh, hey, let's do a discount. Let's sell more copies. So I don't know, but can't keep doing that. And he says because of Steam, and it's because I think it's definitely because of Steam. But it's on Xbox and PlayStation. It got some sales there. I mean, it got Steam mostly. I mean, that's where I got it at first, was on Steam. And so I love that game. That was my game of the year. I thought it was fascinating. But I don't know. Let me go back to my complaint. Let me see. Put this. I'll put this right here. All right. Smaller teams. Oh, okay. Look. Oh, there's less open world games and realistic graphics. I think, and listen, I'm not on that one. I'm not too opposed of, but the reality of it is that isn't that some of the problem of what we got going on now? Is because these games, they put so much money into these realistic graphics. That part, I could be wrong on that one. I don't know. Could we have more games with realistic graphics? I'm cool with that. I ain't tripping about it. But again, it takes away from the creative freedom. It takes away from the creative freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if we, like, for instance, another really fun game, our game that I really loved as well, Scarlet Nexus. Okay, yeah, it would look badass, realistic graphics, but I mean, that's asking a lot because that game did some really wild shit when you got deeper into the story. And like, if you got realistic graphics like that, I mean, that seems like that would cost a lot of money. But I'm not a developer on that aspect. I understand that, you know what I'm saying, Unreal Engine 5 is supposed to be cheaper and things like that. I don't know. So I'm going to just say I'm for more games with realistic graphics, but I'm not opposed to it if the developers don't want to do that. I still believe in creative freedom for these developers. Another one, Jamie said, smaller teams. I'm cool with that too. I think there's a lot of, I think like with the situation with Halo that is kind of weird, or I should say Halo Studios, is that like they have all these contractors. And I understand that they're working on, I think those contractors was working on Halo Evolved, so the remake. So again, but I can see that. Now, another one that I agree with him, because I did agree with his first take, was more sequels and expansions, Jen. I totally agree with that 100%. Lower budgets. Yeah, no, lower budgets is definitely a thing that needs to happen. Definitely needs to happen. And then this is where he don't get it. It gets back to the part I'm saying it's a sticky situation, and gamers of that ilk don't want to hear the truth. He says in his next one, less gas games. Less, you know what I'm saying? That's where the money is, man. Now it's overkill. Yes, it's overkill. I think and I've said this before, I think what killed Concord was the presentation for the game more so than the game itself. It should have been like a storied game first to introduce the characters and then introduce the multiplayer. Because PlayStation is synonymous for that, for single player games. That is PlayStation's wheelhouse. That's their meal ticket. And just coming out with a game like that, and it got dogged. It got dogged because of the way the characters looked and stuff like that. I think that part is whatever. But It's more so it's just like, that's just not a PlayStation type of game. I mean, if we really want to be realistic, I mean, like, I don't know if Jamie likes Helldivers 2, but Helldivers 2 is excellent. It's a great live service game. Fantastic. And that's another one of those games that, like, I never played the first one, but how do we know what games we want if we haven't played them? And then when we play them, then there's like, oh my God, they're amazing. Ah, yeah, okay, yeah. And then we can go back to the first part where he says more sequels and expansions. Absolutely. But we got to know what the game is first. Like, I mean, how many Xbox gamers or anybody or you know, PC gamers may have knew about that, but how many PlayStation gamers knew about Helldive, the first Helldivers, right? Like, did it even come to PlayStation? So who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Richie says, I have 1,600 games on Steam. Didn't play them all. Right. I mean, everybody that's in this kind of space has a pretty good backlog. There's no question. I have plenty of games that I haven't even booted up. So, you know, and those things are fun to me because I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when I got this game. I'm finna play it right now. And, you know, I could love it, or I could say, it wasn't left up, you know, hit the expectations I was wanting. But, you know, again, I know the kind of games that I like for the most part. But then I also, you know, I'll take a chance on something and then I'll be pleasantly surprised. And then that joins into another genre that I may not even cared about. And then again, there's other games that I'm like, oh man, this was awful. This was a waste of money. So, I mean, it comes with the territory. Steam for the Xbox Rogue Ally X. Small teams in California cost the same as a middle team in Japan or a huge team in China. And see that right there. See, okay, so okay. This is where I'm gonna have to kind of separate that. We as a country are looked at and perceived as the richest country in the world. No, you talk about what goes on in China, well, against their workforce out there. You hear things. I'd rather talk to somebody from China to give me the real up and up. But I don't know if they pay their employees like they supposed to, just by going by from reports that you see from other places. But again, I don't know. So I'm not going to work on that. I'm not going to use that one as part of it. Now, I will say this, that if there is too much hiring for contractors and things of that nature, then they need to start replacing these people with people that's going to do the goddamn job. You know what I mean? It's just no different than any job that you work at. You know what I'm saying? Instead of paying for, you know what I'm saying? Because that's another, I think contractors, they, you know, I mean, that's what Drummond and them got in trouble for with over The Last of Us 2 is because there was employees saying that they weren't, the crunch and all that and everything. And then and then they weren't getting paid the same amount. They were being, they were overworked, all that, like that's that crunch stuff or whatever. But see, the employees need to be, see, and again, we have too many of these studios working on too many things. So let's say, okay, and I understand this about, like, I know people get frustrated about this too, but like, okay, so Intergalactic, we haven't seen anything from that. We probably won't see anything from that game until they announce the PlayStation 6 or maybe right before the PlayStation 6, because that might be a PlayStation 6 title. So, and that's fine, but it goes back to like, but why show this game 4 years, 3-4 years before? Like, just wait for it till a year from now. Well, like you showed the trailer and everything, and that was cool or whatever, but at least keep people updated. Like you showed us this game, what was it, a year ago? Like it was a little bit over a year ago, or was it? I think it was a year ago. And then we don't hear anything about it this year. What? Now, if they now PlayStation do have that, they do have usually have a show in September, so they might talk about it then. If they talk about it then, okay. So we'll see. But if you go a whole year and you showed this game last year and then don't say anything about it, that's odd. I think that people need to be updated. That's my thing. But that's neither here nor there. California, he said California's biggest problem is taxes. They should move. They should move out of Cali to states where they can exploit the tax system. And see, again, that right there is that's not good for the taxpayers here. Yeah, y'all can bring a studio out here to Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that just goes to the point of where, like, if they're not paying any taxes, or if they get all these tax breaks, you know what I'm saying? That ain't benefiting. That isn't benefiting my state. That's not help putting that money into schools and roads and bridges and things like that. So you just telling me, so they just come over here, they make video games, boom, they get all this money, and then then we get to the point of where it's just greed, and there's not enough, because, especially, like, well, I'm not gonna get political, but I'm just gonna say, we got enough of these millionaires, etc., sitting there getting these kickbacks, but then yet they don't want to sit there and they don't want to do their part of wanting to help everybody else build up. Case in point, we just seen Grand Theft Auto be $122. Now we'll see if that's if that's not a deluxe version or whatever, but come on now. So yeah. And again, California's population, California's economy is insane. It's bigger than most countries in the world. So we got to put that in the equation as well. So you know what I'm saying? So I think it's more so about, I mean, I agree that there should be studios that kind of move around, but if they want to station themselves and they like being out there in California, then they should be paying the taxes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a few kickbacks here and there, but not enough to where it shouldn't help benefit the state. You shouldn't come to the state. You shouldn't come to another state and then just fuck over the citizens in that state by getting tax breaks. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's no. That form of capitalism ain't working no more, bro. People are tired of that. The first Hellblade was on Steam and PlayStation. See, the first Helldivers, you said. First Helldivers, see, I didn't know if it came on PlayStation or not. I never heard of it until I heard of Helldivers 2, and then when I went and looked on, I was on some site, and I said, oh, that was the first one. And I was going to get it so I could because this was even before Helldivers 2 was going to drop. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, yeah, no, this is kind of old. I'll just wait for Helldivers 2, so. Many people in the state will spend money. It said, I'm saying if I was a dev, I would rather pay taxes in Oklahoma versus California. Oh, absolutely. But then yet they're not going to get paid like they do in California. The cost of living here is really cheap. So you ain't getting no California prices over here in Oklahoma. Now they could do that. But again, if you sit there and you also getting tax breaks and you making the same amount of money that you making in California in Oklahoma, bro, you're gonna have us country folk out here acting a goddamn fool. So, and you know what I'm saying? And it's not benefiting the state. Yeah, no. Yeah. So anyway. He says, then don't be surprised when Xbox thinks California Double Fine is too expensive to be part of the family. I'm not going to be surprised of nothing. If it's not, it's not. I don't have no stake into Xbox except only playing the games on it. I love the system. But if these, you know what I'm saying, and I will be pissed if these studios go away, but I got no say-so into it. I got no say-so whatsoever. And again, it's what somebody else said in the chat. It's the industry's fault for pushing of wanting to ask for more instead of doing less. And so, like, and anyway, that was the last part from Jamie where he said, if all these things happen, then seventh gen was happier will be healthier with these reasons for reasons. I like I said, I had to push back on some of that, and this is some of the stuff. And I'm like I said, I wasn't just trying to jump on Jamie because I've seen other people say the same thing. It's just that, you know, when I scroll through my stuff, I see Jamie stuff all the time. So I was sitting here and I'm like, well, yeah. Come on, bro. Nah. Come on, fam. Nah, not everything. I agree with a couple of it, but nah. And leave my goddamn open world games alone, sucker. Anyway, so that's my thing on that. My last thing that I want to talk about before I get out of here is the exclusives and how that also is a problem with the media. And how that's also I mean, again, we heard all about competition and Xbox needs to show need to show some oomph. Competition is good. Exclusives are good. Now, Xbox saying that they don't want to do it, that they're going to go back to exclusives with certain titles. They didn't even say they wanted to go all back to exclusives. They just said with certain titles. The media over here saying that this is confusing. This, you know, the pivot is confusing and it's going to send the wrong message. Hold up. How many times has PlayStation pivoted in the last 8 years? I can't remember. Like, see, again, and I get it. The way that the way everything is, we have, you know, a lot of people's attention span is the length of a honeybee, but I remember shit. There is receipts, and the fact of it wasn't when Yoshida was in charge, didn't he bring up about how backwards compatibility was not important? Did he also bring up about services wasn't important either? So, I mean, you got to let me understand this. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, then Sony pivoted again and said, okay, we're putting games on PC. Okay. Then they made another pivot just now recently saying that they're taking single player games off of PC. They did another pivot by saying that they were going to going all in on live service games. Now they made another pivot by saying, well, no, we're going to go back to single player games. And the media didn't jump on them like they're jumping on like Xbox. And if it's so clear at this point, there really isn't any ands, ifs, buts, maybes. This again, there's definitely some people in the media that does have love for Xbox and wants Xbox to thrive. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's completely everybody in the media, but my God, it is a lot. It is a lot. And it's crazy because as somebody that is old enough that remember how it used to be watching game trailers and how I watched X-Play and other game media shows back then in the late 90s and early 2000s. Wasn't nothing like this, or reading the magazines and going through like it was just a game love fest. Yeah, there were still those people that would show their disdain for Microsoft because they just didn't like the brand of Microsoft. And so, and I remember reading some articles or in the magazines about how the Xbox was dead on arrival. Nobody asked for this. 25 years later, we're still having these same discussions about, does anybody want an Xbox? Anything that has over, to me, tens of millions of people playing it and generating billions of dollars from it, Obviously, there's an audience for it. You have one. And then again, like I said at the very beginning of the stream, was that like there's so many different people that hold Xbox to this certain standard, but not PlayStation. How is it that you're going to say for a console for the Series S and X that's nearly 40 million sold? I don't know. Let's just say in the 30 million sold, 30 million plus sold console. If they sell 1 million or 2 million on their console, well, that's not good enough. But yet you'll brag on the other end with PlayStation having 90 plus million consoles and they only sell 1 million or 2. That math ain't mathing. How is that a celebration? And the other, who has less consoles in the wild, sell about the same amount, or in some cases, maybe more. Oh, okay, Curie, that's fine. Okay, 40 to 50 million. I think I was hearing reports long time ago that there was closer to 40 million when people were saying it was at 28, 30 million. But I'm just saying hypothetically, 40 to 50 million. That's fine. Let's say 30 to 50 million. Let's just round it off like that. Still less than PlayStation. And they're selling, and like a game like, let's say South of Midnight, or trying to think of, let's say Outer Worlds 2. Let's say Outer Worlds 2. Or no, Starfield. It sold more on PlayStation. It sold more on PlayStation. Starfield sold more on PlayStation than Soros. And there's hell, PlayStation's magazine came out with more flame and disdain than the gaming media did. Not saying that Soros is a bad game or a good game or whatever the case may be. I like House Marquis stuff. But to me, it's just like, hold on, wait a minute. What are we doing here? And then on the flip side, you have all these stands and content creators, these PlayStation content creators that talk so much shit about Sea of Thieves, and Sea of Thieves dog walk a first party IP. Dog walking. What? Like, where does this shit make any sense? If in reality it should be like, what? Y'all got the Final Fantasy games exclusive, and y'all only generating 3 million copies out of bragging about 100 million plus sold or 90 million plus. Bro, that ain't making no sense, man. That attach rate is not popping. So again, I you know what I'm saying, the standard, and when Xbox does something really good, it's okay. But it's like, especially like if there's really, really good news, and you see that Xbox sit there and didn't even get a week. Didn't even get a week before there was bad news that was supposed to be pressed. I got you, curious. She's like, you got to stop downplaying the numbers. I'm just saying, regardless, Xbox could be at 50 million, and that's fantastic. I'm not tripping. I mean, so they pretty much, if they have 50, if they're 40 to 50 million, they're already on track to beat the Xbox One, right? So that's a win, even with the higher prices, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, that's what I'm saying. Like the sales numbers don't bother me. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Because you're talking about tens of millions of people that's buying a product, and yet it still get looked at and talked about like it was there's only like a million sold or something like that. Like it's so crazy to me. I don't know, but still. PlayStation shipped 90 million. That's why the math ain't mathing. They only sold 56 plus a million consoles. I don't know. I have no idea. I know that there was a lot of PlayStations that got bought by bots and stuff like that, and from the scalpers and things like that. But you know what I'm saying? Listen, PlayStation is in more regions. So, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, it's going to have more, it's going to sell more than Xbox. But again, I don't, the point of the whole point of this is just that the attach rate is always going to be better for the one that has the lesser sold item. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in the sense of like, if you got 50 million sold, 30 to 50 million sold, and you had 2 to 3 million sold on this this particular software sold on that system that has 30 to 50 million sold, that's a better attach rate than somebody that has 90 million and they only sell 1 million or 2 or 3. What are we doing? Like, it just don't, I don't know. It's been confusing. It's always been confusing. I said they'll beat the Xbox One because they're going to use it as an entry console into the Helix, and that's what I'm hoping for. I said the media and the ponies act like Xbox sold nothing. The number I quote is from an official report before they stopped including the numbers, the sold numbers, by the way, and that's fine. I'm happy about that. I'm yes, 40, 50 million. That's great. Again. But I mean, it's not. But I just don't want to take away from, like, regardless of just what the way that people come out and say, well, I should say the gaming media and some content creators, like, is that Xbox is just not. Xbox is broke. What? Yeah, I just read to you guys all the studios that PlayStation got rid of. Yeah, there's a money crunch. But I wouldn't say the PlayStation's broke. There's a money crunch at Xbox, but I wouldn't say that Xbox is broke. Like, what are we talking about? Like, the money that they generate off of Game Pass alone is crazy. So again, I don't know. I'm through with it. It's just I had to get that off my chest. I sat there and I thought that was pretty wild. That there was the stuff that I was bringing up, and then the thing about, well, games that we want, and you need to cut away from these certain type of games, and then you could just tell that those aren't the type of games that they like, because, you know, I mean, people used to say open world games was full of bloat and stuff. Like, listen, I call it getting my money's worth. If I'm going to pay a high amount for a game, I feel a lot better where I put in a lot of time in that game and that's why, like, for me, fighters and sports games and shooters and stuff like that, like, they are important to me because it makes me feel like, yeah, I'm getting my money's worth. And I can still feel like I got my money's worth of playing Ninja Gaiden 4. I can feel like I get my money's worth by playing Hellblade 2. Expedition 33, stuff like that. But where I don't feel like I get my money's worth is when I'm sitting here and I'm playing a game and the game isn't up to my, it's just something that I'm not feeling. And it's only 7 hours long. And I bought it brand new because of just making the wrong decision by listening to too much hype, or, you know, just made a bad purchase. And that's when I sit here and I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Listen, to each their own, but leave open world games. That bothered me more than anything. All right, guys. I said I'll sit there and did my rant. I will be back on here tonight. We're going to do some fight night. I don't know what I'm, you know what I'm saying? I should just keep playing Street Fighter because that's what I'm going to be playing when I get off here. So, it might be Street Fighter tonight. It might be Street Fighter 6 tonight. I don't know. I thought that new character that they showed off, she looked dope. I'm planning on getting season 4 here really soon. So looking forward to that. I was over here wondering if I wanted to get because it's higher than the normal prices for their ultimate season pass. And I'm like, damn, Tifa over here, you know what I'm saying? But again, Um, the characters that, you know what I'm saying? I know that they're new characters. I mean, the Bosch character is from the story. I don't know about this Yasmin character. I don't know if she's in the story yet or not. I haven't seen her. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's cool, but I'm thinking that we paying that little extra because of Tifa. So again, everybody's been asking for Tifa. They wanted her more in Tekken, but I think she's going to be perfect more into Street Fighter. Like her character design will be dope. So anyway, and I think the way Tekken is rolling, how they're doing, how they're getting their special guests in, I think that they've been solid for the most part. So anyway, but yeah, you know, well, hold on. I'm just now thinking about this. I did play Versus. I played Invincible Versus when I came back to start doing Fight Night. I might go back to that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll know. We'll be just going live tonight. So there'll be a fighter. I know I did Bleach, and I will not get into politics. There was somebody brought it up, and then I got started. But anyway, so we're just gonna be talking about fighting. And maybe some fun stories or something like that. But we'll probably play Invincible or Street Fighter, which either one. I don't know. So, all right, guys, I do appreciate y'all coming through. Remember, if you like this content, man, do not be afraid to hit that like button, that subscribe button. I do want to hear your comments. Thank for everybody to come and checking out GRG. I think the pack said that they wanted to come back and do it again here in a couple of weeks or whatever. So that's cool. You know, so yeah, it's like I said, it's up to them. You know, it's whenever they want to do it. I'm cool with it. So if not, I know me, I could just do my yapping thing with my thoughts. But yeah, I'll be streaming tonight. So, but if you like the content, man, thank you for coming through. If not, hey man, hit that thumbs down. You know, but hit that thumbs up for me or that thumbs down and give me a comment and say, Mega, you trash. And I'm gonna say, cool. I'm finna go back and play my games. I'll holler at y'all later, man. Love y'all, man. Y'all be good. Peace.